Hello everyone, welcome to the session on what is cloud computing. So in this session, we are going to take a look at what do we mean by cloud computing and what is Amazon Web Services exactly. So let's take a look at the definition of cloud computing. So most of the people still think of the cloud as only storage, but the cloud can actually be used for a lot of different tasks. That means any kind of application or any kind of task that you want to do on a local server or a local machine or an on-premises data center, that can be done on the cloud as well. So it is nothing but the on-demand delivery. That means whenever you want, you can go in and access these services. What services? Compute power. That means you can run your applications on the cloud. Then you can go for popular databases on the cloud. You can have storage options like Google Drive. Then you have applications. That means you can use ready-made applications available in the cloud and a lot of other IT resources. And all of these are accessible via the internet with a pay-as-you-go pricing. That means whatever you will consume, you'll only have to pay for that. Whatever resources that you will consume, that means storage or computing power, you will only have to pay for that. There is no upfront payment required. Now let's take a look at what used to happen before cloud computing. So earlier, when I had to set up my own website, web server or any kind of application, that means I had to host some kind of solution on the internet. What I had to do was I had to set up my own servers. That means I had to buy the powerful computers which used to run 24/7 and serve some kind of files. Now I had to also purchase the space for keeping these computers, hire staff for managing them, then have physical security to ensure protection of these computers or servers. Then planning, that means I need to plan how much capacity would I require, and similarly I had to pay an upfront cost with it. That is nothing but called as the capital expenditure. Now even if I had to change some part of it, so let's take an example of you replacing a 4 GB RAM with a 16 GB RAM. You have to actually remove the RAM, go to the store, then purchase a new RAM, come back to the place and then check whether it is compatible with the motherboard and then replace that RAM. So all of this is nothing but called as a long IT procurement cycle, which used to happen when I used to handle my own servers. Then I had to provision the capacity by estimating the amount of traffic. That means depending on how much load my server is going to get, I had to actually estimate a certain capacity to start with. So now with cloud computing, what happens? I can just treat the infrastructure as software. So let's say in the previous example, I talked about increasing the RAM from 4 GB to 16 GB. So in the cloud, what I can do, I can just click on the right click, increase size to 32 or increase size to 64 GB, and providing me the hardware is nothing but my cloud provider's responsibility. That means the cloud vendor from whom I'm purchasing these cloud services, it is his responsibility to give me the extra hardware. So again, the long IT procurement cycle is eliminated. Then I can offload the task of managing and purchasing new servers. That means handling all of the tasks like purchasing the server, purchasing its component, managing the ventilation, air cooling, all of that stuff, hiring physical security. I can offload all of these tasks to someone else. Then I can scale up quickly with the click of a button. That means if I want more storage or more capacity, I can just do that with a launch of a button or even within few minutes as well. That means I don't need to wait for some kind of orders to be processed and sanctions to be done to actually buy new hardware. It can be done instantaneously as well. Now let's talk about what is the beauty about all in cloud. That means whenever you actually host your applications completely in the cloud, what are the benefits or the advantages that you get? Costs are variable. Why? Because there is no upfront expense that you need to pay at one go. You can pay everything on a monthly basis, or depending on your provider, or depending on what kind of payment model you're going with. You don't need to pay anything upfront. That is a huge cost saving. Then there is no capital expenditure. That means there is no as such money that you need to invest at one time. Again, with variable costs, what happens is once you start purchasing a server, you pay for it on normally a per hour basis. You can actually scale down or increase the size as well going forward as well. That means in the first month, I may go with a 16 GB server. In the second month, I may reduce the capacity to 4 GB server. So that means my costs are reduced and I can actually save money. That cannot happen with a capital expenditure on on-premises data center. Why? Because I have to purchase the hardware. I have to make a significant cost upfront only. Then flexible capacity, that means as per my requirement, I can increase or decrease the capacity. Again, who has the responsibility of giving me the capacity? The cloud provider has the responsibility for the same. Then global reach, that means sitting here, I can create a server in any parts of the world. That means I can actually create a server in America if my users are nothing but in America. So basically, depending on where your users are there or what kind of task you are trying to perform, depending on that, you can choose any of the data centers across the entire world. That's it, pretty much it for this session. Let's again meet in the next session. Thank you.